everyone to the latest live stream here on CGTN. Correspondent Shane Hom with you here right from Seoul, South Korea. And first of all, thank you for joining us here on this latest live stream. We're here as part of the latest G20 series with the upcoming G20 summit in Osaka, Japan next week. And as part of that, we're taking a look at regions and specifically with relation to technology. And here you're joining me because we are at the first, what is known as the Sangam Autonomous Driving Festival here in Seoul, South Korea. Now, Sangam is this area in about western Seoul, and everything you wanted to know about autonomous self-driving will be here. Specifically, what we will see here in just a couple of minutes, I'll hopefully be able to show you the world's first 5G convergence autonomous vehicle technology. Now, that's a mouthful for you there, possibly, but of course, 5G, you may have heard this all over recently. 5G is the latest technology. It has been rolled out here in South Korea. But before I get to that, I want to describe where we are currently. We're in a neighborhood here in Seoul known as Sangam-dong. Now, this place, also known as Digital Media City, quite appropriately named here. This festival is being held here on this gorgeous day here in Seoul, South Korea. Now, what you'll see here, if I have a chance to come, if not, hopefully I'll be able to show you, but what we're seeing is what is known as the Autonomous Driving Festival. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, there is a difference between autonomous driving and self-driving. Specifically, autonomous driving has to do with a car or a vehicle that has absolutely no driverless, quite literally. Self-driving would be something, what you see that technology being rolled out already. Companies like U.S. automaker Tesla have incorporated self-driving technology here. But what you're seeing here is this entire area has become an autonomous driving test bed, the world's first 5G convergence self-driving or autonomous vehicle test bed here. And what that means is what they're unveiling is a truly connected car. And what that means is you will have a car that is connected to the surrounding infrastructure in the area. That means 5G technology will be used to connect the car to sensors, traffic lights, with sensors embedded in the roads. And ultimately, the goal is to create a very safe driving atmosphere or environment. That is the goal. So again, if you're just joining us, we're here at the Sangam Autonomous Driving Festival in Seoul, South Korea. A lot of festivities here on hand. Anything you wanted to know about self-driving, autonomous driving is here. And what this festival is co-sponsored by the Seoul Metropolitan Government, the City of Seoul, as well as the Transport Ministry here in South Korea. 17 corporations will be in attendance here, including two of South Korea's largest transmission or communication providers, SK Telecom and KT. You also have Samsung Electronics here at this festival as well. So 5G, 5G. It's been in the news quite a lot. There had been some controversy over which country had unveiled a commercialized 5G service, whether it be South Korea, the United States, China, of course, a very big proponent and supporter of 5G technology as well. So what you're seeing here, again, the world's first 5G convergence autonomous vehicle technology here. What that means is that a real connected car will be here on hand for participants. And what they call it is V2X, V to X. May have heard of B2B, business to business, C2C, consumer to consumer. But what they're calling this is vehicle to everything, V to X. That means that it'll connect the vehicle to everything around it through a high-speed 5G network, and that'll be on display here in an ordinary road. Now, the Seoul Metropolitan Government has announced that it will hold this festival here this area will be a 5G self-driving test bed. And what they call this is under the theme of future transportation connecting by 5G. Now, right behind me here, you can see a festival or the opening ceremonies taking place. And speaking right now is the mayor of Seoul. The gentleman at the podium is the mayor of Seoul, Mr. Park Won-soon, addressing the crowd gathered here. Take a listen. I'll try to translate what he is saying for our English-speaking audience. Transport Minister of South Korea here in attendance. In addition to the Science and Technology Minister on hand as well. So VIPs all on hand here to welcome the opening of the Sangam Autonomous Driving Festival here in Sangam, South Korea. Now, if you have a chance to come out here, a total of 17 companies and universities will be on hand. Now, the highlight will be the unveiling of the world's first 5G V2X convergence autonomous driving technology on the regular streets of Seoul. And I'll show you that in just a moment. We'll walk over there. It's about a block from here. To give you a little background, South Korea succeeded in commercializing 5G technology for the first time in the world back in early April. So what they have done here is that in the past, 5G technology was particularly limited to adding sensors in the ground that are able to recognize the surrounding environment. The problem with that, though, is that there are safety problems, which is very ironic. The hope is to try and create a safe atmosphere, but what sensors have done is what happens in bad weather. What happens when you are going through a tunnel, perhaps, that 5G connection is lost. So what they are doing here is this self-driving system will be demonstrated for the first time by the Seoul Metropolitan Government, including its core technologies, that overcome these limitations of previous self-driving technologies as well. So through this technology, vehicles and road infrastructure will be connected through this high-speed, ultra-low delayed 5G commercial communication network so that information can travel from traffic signals to sudden situations on the road. Anyone who's driven a car knows that, of course, the dangers of it come from unexpected circumstances. For instance, a person running into the road or another car not obeying a traffic light, and that's when accidents really happen. Now, it's noteworthy that this is the first time, again, to unveil a truly connected car through that technology that connects to everything. And we're talking about the traffic lights, sensors in the traffic lanes, but also a block from here, what they've opened up is a self-driving testbed command center. So what you'll see there are monitors where the technology is being monitored, where closed-circuit cameras, CCTVs, will monitor pedestrians on the street, other cars, so that everything will truly be connected. And this can all happen, of course, because of 5G technology. And so if you look at this car, what you're seeing on the monitor, this is a car that's been developed with this autonomous mobility vehicle component technology center here. This one here looks like it's been developed by LG Electronics. You can have a look here. Now, with the future of 5G here and this connected mobility, what you can get, the benefits, of course, would be things like shuttle delivery service, parcel delivery service that could be automated. You can have self-autonomous buses as well. So really the opportunities with 5G are truly limitless in what can happen. And for those of you that currently use with your mobile phones, your smartphones on 4G or LTE technology, you might wonder, do we really need 5G? I'm fine right now. I can do everything with my 4G LTE smartphone, but we really don't know that. The nature of technology being that you don't know what you need until you actually have it, which is the paradox, if you can call it, of technology. So once 5G really is rolled out, the opportunities are limitless. I remember one time we had the opportunity to film a film a company that is actually developing sensors in parking lots that can really give you real-time data on how many parking lots or parking spaces that are available in public parking areas or parking lots, you could call it. So if you have a chance, if you're in Seoul or if you're planning to be in Seoul today, you can come to this event. This is in the Sangam neighborhood of Seoul, South Korea. This is Digital Media City, quite appropriately named. And you can see there's all these booths that are on display here. 17 companies, universities here, really converging. That's the key word here, converging to show you what 5G technology combined with autonomous driving can really do for you. So, to be honest, personally, there's a little hesitation to ride in a driverless vehicle. Of course, leave the testers to that, but hopefully when this technology is perfected, we could truly be living in a world where there's no need to put your hands on the steering wheel. You can have a truly driverless vehicle, and you can see on this beautiful day, families are out here. See father teaching son what the future would be. This young gentleman, probably when he's old enough to drive, might not need to if he's in an autonomous vehicle that doesn't require a driver at the wheel. So you have all this here on display. Again, if you're just joining us, we're here at the Sangam Autonomous Driving Festival. Opening ceremony formalities are taking place. At the podium right now is Transport Minister, South Korean Transport Minister Kim Hyun-mi, and she's addressing the crowd of VIPs that have congregated here for this festival. A large media contingent here, also showing just how much interest there is for this. So what she's mentioning right now is that the central government here is behind, of course, the city of Seoul in developing this self-driving testbed area, and not only in Seoul but also in areas like Jeju, Ulsan, other cities around the world will be unveiling this in the years to come. So again, if you're just joining us, we're here at the Sangam Self-Driving Festival. Opening ceremonies are taking place. So I just gave you a big tour of what's happening. Let's head over to where the actual testing is taking place. I want to give everyone a look, so bear with me. We're going to take a little bit of a walk here. So just to describe where we are, we're at the Sangam Self-Driving Festival here in the Sangamdong neighborhood. So if you just bear with me, we'll take a short walk here down this alley. We'll leave the opening ceremonies behind, and we're going to come down to this area here. So this area, again, what's been embedded in this entire neighborhood is sensors, 5G technology, through lanes, through traffic lights, and the city has actually blocked off a big part of this area, the roads here, to allow visitors to come and experience self-driving technology. And that includes what the city had done starting earlier this month. They had taken applications for people who want to experience self-driving autonomous vehicles, and that registration ended very, very quickly. There's a lot of interest here, of course, and it's quite fitting that South Korea is ahead of the game in this sort of technology. It makes sense. You might hear on the news a lot that South Korea is probably one of the most connected cities or countries in the world. High-speed broadband speeds are incredibly fast here, as well as Wi-Fi speeds. But also South Korea is a big leader, of course, in auto exports. One of the top 5 auto or car exporting nations in the world. You have companies like Hyundai Motors, Kia Motors that are really connected. So it makes sense that all this technology would converge. South Korean auto manufacturers, you have these communications companies, and then you have the infrastructure and the support from the governments, local and central governments, and that really is what you get when you combine all that together and you have this self-driving technology. So again, we're approaching here. So what you'll see later is that citizens that have signed up to test ride this these self-driving cars will line up right here. This is the waiting area. You can see it hasn't started yet, hasn't begun, but so here we are. So this area here, you can see that one lane of traffic is still open to the public, but what we have here is where the self-driving testing will be taking place. So if we come in here, you can see that they've cordoned off we have 5 lanes of traffic here that have been cordoned off so that people can come and experience really what self-driving technology is all about. You see here they've set up a photo zone. Here is where buses will come without a driver, amazingly enough. And as far as timing, there are some cars over there. Let's come over this way here. Again, just bear with me. So what you'll see in just a couple of minutes, hopefully, is these self-driving cars in action without anyone at the wheel. Just kind of imagine that in a world. Who would have thought that we would be connecting through smartphones just even 10 years back? But what you're seeing here is possibly the future of transportation and technology here. So again, what they've set up this little entranceway here with this banner here, and there we go. There are the cars. So let's come over there and see the vehicles over there. And hopefully, since we're here slightly early, we can get a sneak peek inside one of these cars. You'll see that a driverless shuttle here, funny shaped, futuristic looking shuttle bus is here. Let's give our viewers a sneak peek inside if we can see this. Again, thanks to our viewers for bearing with me in that walk. But you'll see here is this futuristic looking vehicle. Now, I've covered many auto shows around the world in the past, but this looks sort of like a concept car, but what you're seeing here is possibly the future. And you'll notice here that you don't see any steering wheel whatsoever. There's nothing here that shows you that this is connected to some driver. All you see are seats, so you can actually save a lot of space here as well. And you'll notice there are a lot of gadgets here. You see looks like a console joystick here as well, and it is very nicely built here, very modern, very futuristic. But again, what you're seeing is that there aren't any there isn't a steering wheel. There's no driver or area for a driver. This looks like it's been developed by a local university here. So let's take another look here. What is this over here? An unmanned solution, it says. This one here with doors that recline open. Autonomous shuttle here. Another shuttle bus sort of vehicle that you can see. Again, very futuristic looking before the VIPs come here and test here. But what you'll see here is self-driving technology. And excuse me, before we kick you out, give our viewers a look here. Again, you can see that there's absolutely no area for a driver. We're seeing a driverless technology, autonomous technology. This car would be connected to 5G services and 5G sensors that are communicating. So what you have essentially is a vehicle that is communicating with its surroundings, whether it be the traffic lights, whether it be these lane markers in the road as well. So you are truly seeing the future of mobility between autonomous driving and self-driving technology here. So for those of you just joining us, we are at the Sangam Autonomous Vehicle Festival here in Seoul, South Korea. A lot of cool stuff to see around here. And again, I want to welcome our visitors here. 5G is the future. So that's pretty much it. I wish we had been able to show these vehicles in action, but to see that, you have to come out here. So with that, I will sign off here. Thank you for joining us on this latest CGTN live stream. Signing off, Shane Hom for CGTN here in Seoul, South Korea.